Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here. I'm the owner of Grow My Cleaning Company and the Grow My Cleaning Company podcast, which you're listening to. We have been coaching thousands and thousands of owners for the last decade. And today we're talking with Patti Bacile, which I'm sure I said wrong, but it's the best I got. She owns Serenity Clean in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Her daughter actually started the company back in 2019. Patti joined in 2022 and took over as the sole owner just a couple months ago in August of 2024. As one of our clients, I wanted to have her on because she's got a really great story about just some of the struggles that the company was going through. And they actually got to the point where they're just going to shut it down and they were done. And we were able to coach her and walk her through it. And she took a different path. And I'm really excited for her to share that with you guys for a couple of reasons. One, many, if not most of you, either are or will be in a spot with your business where you're like, I would shut this thing down if I could just walk away. I would sell it for a hug and a nickel. I just want to be done. And some of you guys, if you're not there yet, you probably will be if you stick with it long enough. So just want to make sure we give you some tools to know that you're not alone and maybe some alternative ways to think about it. So that said, Patti, why don't you, we don't have to go through the whole history, especially prior to you being part of the company, but let's just go over the last 4 or 5 months when things got bad, when you reached out, when walk us through kind of how we got here.
Yeah, sure. First of all, hi, everybody. So as Mike said, I took over this company just a couple of months ago. My daughter had started the cleaning company on her own just to put her through university. So she had, funds to live on. And it just grew organically from word of mouth to the point where we incorporated the business and started hiring employees. But after a year or so of doing this, we were not making money. We were losing money and we couldn't figure out what was wrong. So we saw Grow My Cleaning Company ads on Facebook and we joined. And Mike was able to look over what we were doing and point out where our mistakes were. And that really put us in the right direction. We had been remaining with the same prices that Jess had set working by herself instead of increasing to compensate for the bills that we now had with staff and WSIB and taxes, etc. So that really put us in the right direction of starting to make this business profitable again. Now, Jess never had the intention of continuing on with this. She studied, psychology and law in university, and that's where her direction is. So she, at one point, had said, I'm going to close the company down because I don't need the stress of this and school and working on getting a new career path. And it was looking pretty doomish, for lack of a better word. And then I decided, what? I don't have the experience in running a company, but I felt confident having Mike and his team behind me that I stepped up and said, look, I'm going to take it over. I'm just going to take it over, grab the bull by the horns and do the best I can at making this what her initial dream, to grow this company, what my dream anyway, to grow this company and turn it into something that's going to be a really great residual income for me into my retirement. And who knows where it goes from there, but I'm on the path. I'm on the path. It's looking bright, and a lot of that unknown stress has been taken off my shoulders because of you, Mike, and everything that you've taught and your formulas, etc. So yeah, that's where we are today.
So let's dive into that a little deeper. I know you said, hey, we weren't making money and you weren't sure why. And in your circumstance, it had, different people have different things. For you, it was just the pricing that you'd had. Yeah. So I'm sure at some gut feeling prior to us working together, you knew at some level you had to raise prices, but couldn't or wouldn't. What? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that are in that same spot. They've got that gut feeling of, I know I'm not charging enough, but They also have a lot of, well, all my customers will leave, they'll be mad at me, they'll give me bad review, like lots and lots of fear. So if you would walk us through the fears that you had or the things that held you back all this time, what you did to get over them, and then how it really turned out. Because again, it wasn't perfect. Like everyone's just like, sure, now you're a millionaire and everything's great, but things did change. So kind of walk us through what you were afraid was going to happen
Mhm.
and what held you back, what changed your mind and got you over that fear, and then how it actually turned out, the good and the bad, right? I'm sure there's always both, right? It's not like anything you do is always perfect or all bad. It's always a mixture of, kind of. So yeah, where what you were afraid of, what held you back, what changed your mind to be like, it's enough, I'm going to do the scary thing, and then how it actually turned out compared to how you were afraid it would turn out.
Yeah, for sure. So that was actually the scariest and most stressful part for me was realizing just how much we had to raise our prices by to save the company. We had done little incremental um, price increases, like once a year, their price went up $5, but it just wasn't making any difference. And so we found out through the formulas, et cetera, what we needed to be charging. And it was daunting. We were really, really underpricing our services. So we made the phone calls, we talked to our clients, we explained what was going on. And we raised their prices and we lost
And
a good,
some of these were double, right? Like it
oh my
wasn't,
God.
yeah.
In some points, we were raising them like 70 to $90 a clean. Um, and some of our clients left. Half of our clients left. And but the ones who stayed um really showed us that they value what we do. They appreciate like what we offer them is so much more than the increase in their pricing, and they stuck with us and they referred us to friends, and we're building, and I'm quoting these new prices to new clients and they're not even batting an eye at it, they're just taking it. So you know I always had to remind myself to stop undervaluing what we offer.
Mm.
They are paying full price for everything else. And they're not questioning, like you say, they walk into a grocery store or whatever. They're not questioning that they're paying, $4 for a loaf of bread. They're, they might not like it, but that's what it is. And that's what they're paying. And the same for our service, this is what we offer. This is what we charge. You're going to get great value for it. You're going to be happy with it. And if you don't like it, then you can move on. But I'm not going to undervalue what we offer anymore. So that
So
comfort kind of built.
yeah, so what got you over the edge? What got you from we probably should change prices to I know we should change prices to I'm doing the hard thing and changing prices?
Well, the need to pay my own bills, to really just to support my family. This is my career. This is, to ask me to charge you less so that it benefits you, you're showing that you don't care about me in the end. And,
Mhm.
this is what we need to support our cleaners, to pay the bills, to, contribute to the economy by employing people at a decent wage. It can't just be about what they want. You have to think about yourself as a business owner and your commitments to paying your taxes, etc., and supporting your family. And that's kind of what got me over the edge. It was like, no, you know what? I need to think about me. Yes, I care about my clients. It was the hardest thing I had to do was to tell some of my very loyal clients that I'm increasing your price by $70 a month now. But the ones who really cared and understood, they were like, yeah, I get it. And they
So
just stuck with us.
You said you lost half. Was that
Yep.
more than you thought? Less than you thought? About what you thought? Like better, worse? How'd that work out?
Probably about what we thought, but we're afraid to have it happen.
Mhm.
Um, and I had to let we had to let some cleaners go because we just didn't have the hours. Because when you lose half your clients, I didn't have the hours for everybody. But that worked because they weren't all my A players either. So yeah, so now I probably have half the team that I did. But they're great. They're sticking by me, and we're growing.
So I think those are probably the biggest. Well, I'd say the biggest fears are people are going to yell at me or make me feel bad. Did you have any of that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I had people get really, really upset with me. I can't believe you're doing this to um for the benefit of your company. And I'm like, are you
What else would I do it
seriously
for? Like, what do you
right?
think? Yeah, like you think this is a not for profit situation?
Oh, yeah, you will get angry people
Okay.
because they know they're getting a deal and they want to keep getting that deal.
So the big
Well,
three is people are going to be angry. They were.
yep,
Some are gonna leave. They did. I
yep.
might have to, and this, most people don't go through all three of these, but you did. So this is, again, having done this for a decade, helped hundreds and hundreds, you're kind of top 10%, top 5% worst percentile in terms of like, most of the time it's less painful than what you went through. No, it's good for a case study. So everyone's like, okay, it's probably not going to get worse than what Patti dealt with. So people yelled at you, people quit, and you had to let employees go. Usually you'll have one or two of those things, rarely three. So all three of the things that you're afraid of happened.
Yep.
What about on the good? So we've kind of covered the negative. Was it positive? Are you like, maybe I wish I would have just kept on keeping on? Like, why? You seem very happy about the situation. What happened to make this all that headache worthwhile?
I'm making more money than I was with twice the amount of clients. Um,
So half the work, probably
ha-
way more than double because you were making zero. A dollar is infinitely more than zero. So yeah, walk us through that.
yeah, so when you look at the figures, there were some homes we were almost paying to have to let us clean their house
For
for
the
them,
privilege, yeah.
right? Um, and I was still having to pay my cleaners, so I was losing money on so many of our cleans. With the price increase, we have half the clients, but we're making more money because I'm not losing on anybody anymore. So it half the stress, double the money. Sounds good to me. I don't clean anymore. I was, when we started this, I still had a few clients a week. I don't have
But
that
that's the
anymore.
crazy part. You were cleaning for no money,
Yeah,
and now you're not cleaning for money, which is a pretty interesting little trick you did there.
yeah, I like it. So, it
So
gives me more time to learn about my business, and eventually it's going to become pretty self-sufficient if with keep following what I'm supposed to do. It's all laid out for me. There's no guesswork. I just do what I'm told. And it's working.
Mike Campion here. Do you ever listen to the podcast and go, this is great information. I just wish I could actually get it implemented. And I wish I could get some help. Well, we do that. If you would like either myself or my team's help actually coming up with a plan that's specialized to you and your business, because with these podcasts, obviously we have to be very general and we can only go 20 minutes at a time. If you'd like to jump on a call with myself or my team, go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. We'll jump on a call. There's no charge, and we'll help you get some absolute clarity around exactly what to do next and how to do it. The reason we don't charge for these calls is the plan that we come up with, people want help implementing that. If that's the case, we're happy to talk about it. And if it's not, that's okay too. We're happy to just help you come up with a plan. So if you want to translate the information you're learning here into an actual plan that can change your life, give us a ring, growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. Love to either myself or have one of our coaches walk you through and actually personalize the content you get here to where you're at with your business. Talk soon. Beautiful. That makes me so happy. So I just wanted to touch on the soft bits about how you're experiencing the business, because it doesn't sound like you lost a random half. It was probably a pretty specific half. Like, overwhelming feedback we get, aside from the financial part, which is like, oh my gosh, this is so much better, obviously, is I didn't realize how much pain and suffering these, I don't say bad clients, but these lower price clients that aren't willing to pay market value. I didn't know how much pain and suffering you're bringing because you kind of get used to like you're in a bad relationship and you don't really like all your friends look at it and be like, this is not a healthy relationship. You're like, no, it's okay. He loves me. And you leave the relationship and you're like, I don't think that was a very you get in a healthy relationship. Like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize how bad that was.
Yeah.
How how much of the soft side is it in terms of the way that is it a big deal, a small, like how different is it for who you deal with and how you experience your day-to-day business journey?
I found that majority of the people that stayed are the ones that were never complainers.
Mm,
Um, I guess they understand the value of a dollar in the sense that what they're paying for is worth it. Whereas the people who gave me a hard time about the increase and left, they wanted more and more and more for nothing. So they valued their dollar, but they didn't value what they were getting for it, if that makes sense.
yeah, they valued them. They didn't value you. It wasn't a
Yeah,
partnership. It was I will squeeze as much as I can get out of you, and I don't care if you live or die.
exactly. That's exactly what it came down to. You're going to get mad at me for trying um to live, to support, to have
But
a
how does
company.
that feel for you day to day? Like, is it like, yeah, it's nice, but not a big deal? Or like just not having that kind of negative energy in your life and having the people, like, do you still have clients that you, obviously we're not going to ask for names, but do you still have clients you're like, yeah, I could take or leave? Or do you feel like most of them, like just your own, because you're the one dealing with them when they're happy,
Mhm.
when they're not happy, when they pay, when they're whatever, like how different is your experience of the business? Obviously making money changes everything, but just that's on the money side. On the emotional side, because I know when you guys were ready to quit, it was pretty, I think some of it was financial, but a lot of it was just like, I hate it. I hate everyone. I hate the thing. Like, I don't want to be a part of it
Yeah.
anymore. How's that? How are you experiencing the business today?
Yeah, so that was definitely how Jess was feeling, and one of the reasons she decided to just go her path and focus on her career instead of continuing with cleaning. I'm a very tolerant person, so I put up with it, but I have to say I'm glad to see um, those people go.
Mm,
First of all, they're I don't feel insulted now. Like um, someone getting mad at you for doing what you need to do to survive. That I felt hurt by that, and so good riddance to bad news, like go, that's fine. I don't need you as a client. And the people who stayed are great. They're just great. They're supportive. They're understanding. If they have questions, they don't just come at me like, they're just, they, we can have mature conversations about changes and things like that. And um, yeah, it all around, it was good to get rid of those people who didn't see the value in what we offered.
cool. So I've got one more question, and then I'm going to let you end with anything you think would be a value that you know or about the business that would help any of the listeners out there. But the last question I have is, you'd mentioned you kind of touched on a little bit earlier, which is the going forward part. So it's one thing, like obviously you're to the point you're like, well, we're cleaning toilets and running the business and making no money. This is untenable. And now you're out of cleaning toilets, fantastic, and obviously making money, really fantastic when it's a business. And obviously you
Yeah.
have bills that you need to pay. But going forward, I love the fact that because it is a little harder to go backwards, like, hey, the price was this, is now this. Did you have fear at the beginning, like pricing that to new people? Sounds like they're completely open. Like, what's that shift been of how you price new people and how you take on new clients? How's that different than how you did it before?
Yeah, pricing the new clients, I don't have an issue with, because I realize I'm pretty much on par with a lot of other companies out there. I'm not on par with the single cleaners who are just doing it for cash, but for people who are who have a company, who have employees, I'm on par. And and I don't feel bad about quoting them what I'm quoting them at all because I believe in what we do. So it's a lot easier. And knowing that the people who valued me stuck around at that price, I don't worry about quoting new people those prices. Like I said, the hardest part was making those phone calls and increasing the prices in the first place. But now that we're there, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I know where what I'm charging is working, and if you don't like it, there's other people out there for you.
So the big takeaway I'm getting, and then like I said, I'm going to turn over to Patti for any parting thoughts, is if people just observed your business from the outside, I think their focus would be on like, wow, the business is so different. Less clients, more money, like just lots of external things are different. I see all that as a result, and the cause is really you. Like the change started in Patti. Like, I think superficially people would be like, oh, wow, we changed this business. It's like, I don't know that we really did. I think we changed this owner, or this owner decided to change, and we obviously supported you in that, but you did the work. And it was just really a natural, like the hard work was inside Patti and you deciding how you're going to think about your business and what standards you're going to accept for your life and for your business. And then everything happened outside that was almost like, yeah, that's just how it would go. Like the business that you had couldn't have been any other business based on who you and Jess were when you're running it prior. And the business you have now really couldn't be any different than it is now because of who you are. So as you were, A, would you agree with that assessment? And B, as you were going through that transformation, did it feel like the business was changing, you were changing, or how did you experience or how that feel in the middle of it?
I completely agree with that assessment. I'm a I'm a different person than I was.
Mm,
Um, I'm stronger. I'm more confident in my decisions. Um, and I have a drive that I didn't before.
mm,
So, yeah, I would have to say more changes came from out of me than the business itself. The business is following me now
yeah.
instead of me following the business. It's I'm leading it, not being led.
Which is so much more permanent. Like say we came in and quote unquote fixed up your business for you, but we did it around you. We didn't talk to you. We just came in, fixed it up and gave it back to you.
Yeah.
Almost certainly you'd have just recreated the thing that you created before. The cool thing is now that you've changed who you are, even if you start a brand new business, like it would look wildly different. So it's so cool how when you change, we realize the owner is the source. Everything just flows from that. So it's just so cool that you've made those big changes. I'm really, really am proud of you. And for me, it may have felt different from Patti. I remember when she reached out and said, because we started working with Jess and, her daughter and her daughter, and it's fine, no judgment. Like, I'm glad that she got clear on what she wanted. And she's just like, this isn't for me. Cause she's got a lot going on in her life and family. And like, it's good that
Yeah.
she was able to just say the hard thing of, I don't want this and I'm going to do something different. And I just remember Patti, you were kind of like, well, it's her business. I joined her. So if she's shutting it down, I guess it's just over. And, certainly I'm not going to try and talk Jess into doing anything. I want her to live the life that she wants. So,
Yeah.
but that wasn't what you wanted. And you could have, by far, the easiest thing would have just been to be like, we're done. And the hard thing was to go, no, I can do this, even though, yeah. Anyway, any comments you have on that, I'd love to hear.
Well, I'm glad I found the internal fortitude to push into something I was afraid to do. Um,
Mm.
you'll always worry about what the future holds, but I feel like I'm on the right path. I've got the right foundation. I have the right mindset. Everything that, I've learned in the past few months is going to drive me in the right direction to keep succeeding and making the right changes and choices. So, yeah, and this was always my plan for the future. It wasn't Jess's, but it was mine, and I'm really glad that I felt that I had enough backing and enough knowledge to push forward with it because it's just going to get better.
The level of the quality or disquality of support you have in any endeavor is such a big deal, right? Like if you're struggling in your marriage and you're among people who support you and your spouse and reconciliation, the likelihood you reconcile is pretty high. If all of your friends are like, that guy or that gal is a dirtbag, changes everything. So I love
Right.
just you going, hey, doing it alone. It's scary, but if I have, people that give a crap about me, that makes a big, and again, not just in business. I think that's a life situation.
Yeah.
And it's same thing. You're like, hey, my daughter and I got this together. And you're like, no, oh my gosh, now I'm alone. It's a little scary. So thank you for sharing all of that, Patti. I've really been looking forward to this particular podcast. I'd like to end by just opening it. Who our audience is, owners of cleaning companies that are, trying to grow, trying to get better.
Yeah.
What would you say? The floor is yours. What would you say to give the most value to them?
If you're struggling and this isn't a sales pitch or anything like that, but I credit my success to your program. So, if they're listening to this and they've been on the fence, whatever, about joining, just do it, because it really made the difference between losing this company and doing better than I was. So I'm really thankful for you and your team, because the weekly, the meetings, the support, everything made the world a difference for me.
So as much as I love talking about us and how great we are, and I promise listeners, I promise that Patti and I didn't discuss her. I would have actually told her, don't say that. So thank you for the kind words. But for all those out there going, I didn't come into here for a goddamn commercial. I came in for some how to grow my cleaning company. So thank you. I don't want to, I'm in a tight spot of not wanting to minimize the kind of things you're saying, being truly appreciative, but also not wanting the listeners to feel like we're shilling and Patti's hired. Like the whole thing of this wasn't to scam you. It was really to share Patti's story. So in addition to getting great coaching, whether it's us or otherwise, what else would you give to Cleaning Nation in terms of how to make a big shift like that? Again, not this exact shift, but a big change when you're like, I'm not getting what I want. I want something different. What feedback would you give?
Don't be afraid to make the big choices, the hard choices. If you have to raise your prices, do it. Don't try to rip the bandage off slowly. Just do it. Get it done. Don't be afraid of what happens. It'll get better. And just keep believing that what you're doing is right, and understand the value of the service that you offer. Don't downplay what you do. People are coming to you because they need you. So, don't underestimate what you offer, and price it accordingly.
And my favorite thing about you personally saying that, Patti, is you have the receipts, right? You're like, well, I wasn't making any money, and not only were we working hard as owners, we were also cleaning toilets for nothing, literally for free. And now still have the ownership task. I think you're working less there and more effectively, but that could be debated. But you're not cleaning, that can't be debated. And you're actually making good profit, that can't be debated. So
right.
Even though every single bad thing that you're afraid was going to happen happened to you, you can still look back and go, yeah, but the one bad thing of I'm going to keep struggling at this job that I don't love, it isn't giving me the financial results that I want. That was, that kind of became the one bad thing. Like, well, I'm not going to accept that anymore. So I'll take all the other bad things, not that one. So I'm just really proud of you for doing the hard thing. And again, for a lot of our clients, overwhelming majority, the things that they're afraid of happen don't, right? It doesn't turn. That's why I was so excited about your story, because very few kind of hold to something like, yeah, all this stuff that she thought was going to happen. Like, no one loses half their clients. No, like very few get, you got all of it. Everything you were afraid of came to fruition. So you're kind of like, for people, because we have a lot of people like, oh, I thought it was going to be so bad, and I did. It was actually great. I love you. Like, it wasn't great. It was just as bad as I thought it was going to be. But what I'm hearing is the good was as good or far better than you thought. Like, I didn't know I could even have this kind of business. So I just want to encourage everyone out there, like, Patti's got the receipt. She's living the life. Like, this is her new normal of money comes into me for owning the business. And I do some administrative work for the business. But when it comes to cleaning, I don't have a cleaning job. I have a cleaning business, and it's profitable, and I've got some control, and everything's not done, like not perfect. You're still in journey. But when you're like, I don't know, there's no question of like no profit. that's a data point. Like, that's not an opinion or a feeling. Like, I like you feeling certain ways, and that's all. But people can say, well, that's different. And I was cleaning, I'm not. Those are just data points no matter how you feel about them. So just really proud of you for doing the work, going through the hard stuff, and coming out the other side and encouraging our audience to go, you guys can do it. It's okay. Sometimes bad stuff happens. It'll be fine. So Clean Nation, thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate the heck out of you. If you need anything, growmycleaningcompany.com, Instagram, whatever, tons of stuff out there. Go check it out. We're here to help. Talk soon. Hey, Cleaning Nation, if you dug the content you just got, we don't do any ads and I don't sell anything on this podcast, but if you would just subscribe, rate, and review, it would be huge, and I'd be so appreciative. Not only is it going to help me, but you'll help other owners of cleaning companies across the world work less, make more, and get profitable. So if you appreciate the value we give, again, subscribe, rate, and review. It would mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it, and we sure appreciate your time and attention.